Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. May host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Langraskaya. The setting is Eastern France, 1944. Somewhere the Americans approaching the German borders around, well, the Alsace region near Fortress Metz. In the north, we got Jove fighting for America, freedom, and democracy, the 2nd Armored Division, tasked with breaking through the German lines. In the south, we got Burmie fighting for the Oberkommand West Germany, Deutschland, the 111th Panzer Brigade, here with fortifications, artillery, chosen, machine gun infantry bulletins versus Jove's airborne, a rifle company, an infantry company with triple infantry bulletins, double rifle staff for him, Volksgrenadiers, and Kubelwagen for Burmie. It'll be interesting to see what Joe goes for him in terms of doctrines. There's certainly been a bit of shift. I think there's sort of what doctrines are chosen right now. So the Americans' infantry company has actually become very popular as part of the American meta as of late, simply thanks to the Browning light machine guns. That one is appearing a lot. But while up here going for the central munitions point, Riflemen arriving there. In the south here we got Sturmpanies still advanced, but the Fulks are actually sort of pushing the furthest ahead, which is interesting considering you figure the Sturmpanies would be, leading the assault. Not the Volksgrenadiers, who aren't exactly, equipped with assault rifles. So it's an interesting opening here, the Burmese Scout versus Jove, but so far it's holding up here but around the munitions point, ensuring it doesn't push too far ahead, so that could very well be a lead since the Volks are more suited in that sense to this style of fighting. Rather than taking a loss, rather than flying up around, the house is going to eat the Sturmpanies to some flight support soon for the Volksgrenadiers, or they're just going to get gunned down. Heading for the fuel point there in the west, very good. Sturmpanies there we go, flanking on the rifle. Oh, decides to veer away, probably realising he is pushing ahead straight line there. It's going to expose him to too much incoming fire, so switching over here to a slightly less linear path, but also one that offers the Sturmpanies a lot more cover. Now it's going to go for the rifle up here again. Note he's staying to cover, since the light cover is sort of are much more abundant, so if he just stays close to the Sturmpanies will take less fire as they advance, and there you go. Now I can close in, much more safe, so the rifle of course is going to get focused down, but there you go, up close the rifle move beaten. So there we go. The importance of, not necessarily going a straight line, but actually trying to use the cover provided on the battlefield to get safely close to, say, assault units like the Sturmpanies. Really nice display there by Burmie. We got forces digging up in the centre, Kubelwagen securing the munitions point, Sturmpanies bring out, they're going to use the house to turn around the rifleman situation in the north, very good, very good. We can see that Jove's having a bit of a rough start versus Burmie, though he's trying to turn around here, sneaking up with the reassurance behind Burmie's line, it's going to cut off things, they're forcing Burmie to withdraw forces from the front line to put an end to that little American thorn in his side. Volksgrenadier there moving about, under fire from the rifleman, K9TKs versus the M1 Garants. Folks they need to fall back. Sturmpanies should also probably fall back soon. And we got a bit of shooting here as well between the Russians and the Volksgrenadier. Shots being fired here. In this case, M1 carbines versus the K9TK. The carbine was actually meant as a unit for, well, the echelon troops, not really meant as a frontline weapon, though it turned out pretty popular due to its low weight and high rate of fire, though it did lack a bit of a punch. Also, fun facts, there were some versions of the M1 carbine was actually made fully automated, and some actually did see usage on the Western Front. Kubelwagen here as advancing rifle, 4th rifle squad there for Joseph, going heavy in the infantry build here versus Burmie, who's certainly also going a bit in heavy-ish, but so far not too heavy either. Forces the defending, but they're in such a low health condition, I can't really see them doing much good versus Jove there for long. But there you go, continuing harassment, going behind lines and hitting the cutoff point, though if he can't hold the victory point in the sense, it's not going to matter much. So Kubelwagen falling back, they're having cut off territory, but he's about to get the victory point here, at which point again things not matter. There's essentially 2 cut-off points for each on this map, usually the one closest, but also the central victory point tends in many ways to act as a cut-off point a bit. In this case, due to not having this point as well, it doesn't quite fully apply. We got a rifle squad where they're lone health defending the fuel point. He's going to sort of delay any attempts there by Burmie to harass it. But over both sides, trying to outmaneuver, sort of at the same time maintaining at least some sort of position. We can, for example, see here Burmie's very interested in holding the farm area there, but that's about it. And again, Joe interesting holding the fuel. Shootout here, Volksgrenadiers are not actually fully fighting. We got Heinz and Otto, they're just standing behind, sort of just, yeah, you can do it, Fritz, you can do it. How about you get up here, Heinz, and shoot him as well, you fat bastard. I'm just big boned. Nein, you're not big boned. MG34 for Burmie. I mean, of course, ascertained in this situation that Jove's got a lot of infantry, and MG34 is a pretty good choice, noting he's actually going for a battle with headquarters. Got incendiary grenades here, popping one, and there we go over the hedgerows and into the building. Should deny that to Jove for a few moments. Harassment going on. Carts being shattered by the Kubelwagen. No medics yet here for Burn, but I mean they'll soon be appearing. And he's actually popping into the house. He's a bit on fire, but then again, most of the men will be active fighting here. And the incendiary grenade was thrown there, so they won't actually get affected by it. Fun fact. Back here, reinforcement for Jove. No ambulance on the way. In fact, there's no tech either for Jove, which is certainly a bit unusual at this stage. You'd think he either have the lieutenant or the captain on the way, but for reasons Jove is not quite there. Burmie briefly considering another MG34, but decides against it. I imagine it's medics first. The sanitator. And Joe goes for the captain. He also goes for infantry doctrine, so he can quickly get himself out some brown light machine guns, which have gotten super popular in the American meta. Like, in its only infantry, they never go for tactical support, or at least they rarely do. They always pretty much go for infantry company. Which is an interesting development there. Rival squad pushed back, sneaking up here in this northeast. You can see that Burmie's pretty quick to upgrade his forces with the short rifle, increasing the firepower there versus Joe's rifleman. More machine guns will definitely be great for Burmie against a heavy machine gun build there from Joe that is a light machine gun build. Up north, fusions are being dealt with. Both sides sort of mostly scattered across the front line, no sort of really heavy concentration. There you go, Burmie can get to another MG34. Probably figuring that Joe will be going for a lot of light machine guns in his men, in which case another machine gun will be helpful, you know, trying to swing the fights more in Burmie's favour here. Up north, we got the captain out. You meet the bazooka there. He is probably thinking his opponent, you know, could be going for looks very common part of the Oberkommando West Meta, or he might just be worried about a flak after. I mean, either way, a bazooka is not going to necessarily save the day, but it might just cause Burmie's Light Eagle to be just a bit more cautious, a bit more careful. Of course, with this, Burmie also knows that Jove has gone for mechanized and what to prepare for. We're not mechanized, you know, going for the captain. So he'll have to prepare for stewards, pack howitzers, and other fun things. Rather than they caught in a pretty bad spot, they'll have to retreat machine gun and infantry there, having quite an impact on the Yankees, and car fought harassment thwarted by Joe's rifleman. He's also very close to the brown light machine gun, but he's still a quarter of a command point off from it compared to Burmie's already at 3. Noting that while he's gone for an early doctrine, he's so far seen no usage of it. Like, there's been absolutely no S-mines, which he actually can't go for now, though it takes a bit of time there, but also no trenches or flak emplacement or anything. Burmie going for tech already? Is he planning mechanized? That's usually the wrong way around. Most players would just go for mechanized, then battle with headquarters. Whereas Burmie just preparing for the Schwer punted quarters very far ahead of time. I mean, that is a possibility, but it's a rare seen possibility. Sturmpanzer plus the Rifle will have to retreat. They do not stand a chance. They did get some good hits against the Sturmpioniere. MG34 being assaulted by the M-Fight A1 Stewart, moving ahead for freedom and democracy. 30 shells punching through the walls like an overly aggressive stapler. Folks are then moving in against Rifleman. Gonna need a grenade to flash them out, even there might not quite be enough, just the low health they already were in the light negative cover they had to push through. And this dude pretty much just seals the deal. That's going to be a wipe down there. Burmie gets super lucky, and he did not. Trucking back there, waiting for that resource flow. A Kenrev on the way, stood going for the other machine gun as well. Burmie caught a bit here with his leader holding down his angles, which is not good. Also now Jove can go for light machine gun as a rifleman, adding some heavier firepower to those gentlemen. Healing up here, and pretty much right next to here, you just need to begin handing up Brownings at a reasonably favourable price. Fortunately, up down the rifle, getting some good hits there. Of course, there's still the issue of this Stuart light tank. Cover slowly shattering, truck setting out. Hitting the point here, and there you go, double brown light machine guns out for Jove. The S1 was an MG34, getting from the Stuart light tank, gets a good hit there with the 88mm rocket. Burmie, though, so far, despite the incident with the Steward, is actually in a pretty good state here versus Jove, that Jove's not doing poorly either. But so far, it's very much Burmie's ahead in the tech race, though. He can't really do much with it, he's just not getting enough fuel to push out any tanks fast, though he could go for some early Obersoldaten. Joe committing to the mortar, not the Packard, to say mortar half-track, despite having access to both right now, but goes for the regular mortar. And it's a slightly interesting choice there, but the mortar is of course flexible and cheap, and that might of course be exactly what Joe wants. Following up with an M1 anti-tank, and he starts to clearly get worried about Burmie bringing up some kind of armour. So he wants to be absolutely prepared. Back here repairs for the Kugelwagen. M1 anti-tank away there for Jove. Fulton's moving a rifleman westwards there, Brian light machine guns in hand, ready to mow down some krauts. Defending here with the captain. And we'll see what comes next here for Burmie. All of his folks have now been upgraded with assault rifles, mortified iron and machine gun. That's immediate retreat there. 2 on health already. As the M1 81mm mortar punches through the roof, making some very large holes in the process. Forces moving up here, close to Veteran 2. And they go up close and unpleasant, doing a lot of damage with the assault rifles, forcing the rifle squad away. Medics preoccupied with their own, but the machine gun crew in most need of it. And there's a port. Oh dear, sending in the Kuban hit from the anti-tank gun. Oh dear, he's gonna... Oh, took a direct hit and survived. Impressive. And there you go, big push for those from the fuel point. Once reclaimed from the armies. So it's for damping gangsters. And there we go, grenades off. So Joe's not just gone for the light machine, he's gone for the grenades as well. There's only one reason to go for by the infantry, anyone with the light machine, and that way you don't have to spend the munitions for it. Or the resources, I mean, for it. They could spend the resources that go for grenades, giving quite some flexibility there. Brian light machine guns and grenades, a very nasty combo there from Jove. I imagine Burmie did not see that one coming, but who knows, he might have. Armour's does some time off there from Burmie. Got the Obersoldaten on the way there though. With a not a Brian light machine, but an LMG-34, they should be able to lay down some heavy pressure there in Jove and show them who's got the best light machine and gewehr. Again, on the hunt for the Steward, and there you go, steps on the rear, and there you go, good hit, good hit. At the same time as all this is happening, while Joe's basically moaning getting minor diversion from the Steward, he's sort of make a big push for the Koch point, but that's going to get punished by the spare planted quarters. Sees it, but not quite in time to completely avoid getting hammered. Still in this overall bigger push here from Jove across the front here against Burmie. Ultimately has forced to fall back here from in the west. But we got the Obersoldaten out, we got the MG-34 on the way for them. MG-34 trying to set up, it might have been a mistake there by Burmie. Either way, rifleman up close and pop a grenade. Ooh, almost wiping, but not quite. Still, machine crew in such a low health state, the rifleman, if they get pinned down in this, but say they could wipe them. Heading for the mortar crew here with the Volksguns popping off into grenades. Tiny chance of getting a wipe here, not impossible. Counter fast on the Steward, and he gets the mortar wipe. The question is, can he get close enough to deal with it and steal it? Maybe up here, rifleman fighting up. So Volksguns got in the anti-tank and hanging back. I need more support there. Got the Sturmpunie advancing. The Kedman moving up, trying to go for the Steward, but that's not going to be enough. The Obersoldaten are not pushing ahead, so cavalry Kedman. That feels a bit of a mistake there by Burmie. Could have prioritised that a bit better. And I might actually lose the Kedman versus Joe, which would be pretty bad in the early game. In particular, since he's got no other anti-tank assets against the Steward. Cool while the main got progress in the west. We've got troops moving back here to grab the western fuel point back for Jove. Who commits more to the centre where there's a machine gun in the wait. Nice positioning there by Burmie. He got a smoke shot off against it from the Riestans. Very nice there by Jove. Forces Burmie to once more reposition the machine gun and maybe expose it a bit more here to fire from Jove. Got the MG-34 on him through the covering effort from the other side. The Obersoldaten, I think, try and maybe sort of flank up here by the houses and get behind some of Jove's forces. But of course, there's the Steward to be worried about as well. But I think it's better than just parking them inside the house and doing nothing with them. Still, he should soon have access to both fuel pumps, which will definitely allow Burmie to pull ahead with the tank, since Jove has yet to gain enough fuel, and more importantly, he has yet to take up in the first place. So Burmie's going to go first on with the Panzer IV, and Jove there with only an anti-tank gun and a bazooka to stop it. Not impossible, but definitely a challenge.
We're losing a capture point. Enemy anti-tank! Find cover!
What was on there? We go, going for the flank, going for the flank. Need to be careful, we need to stick to cover. And there you go, lots of light machine gun fire here. Oh, pops a bomb grenade on the rifle squad. The one with light machine gun, and almost gets a full wipe there. Joe was not seeing that one coming, and he almost paid the ultimate price. Well, his men almost did. Most of them actually did. Would have been great there for Burmie if he'd gotten a full wipe, but even then, almost wiping the entire rifle squad is going to be impactful nonetheless. It's going to give him some time, and his Orbals on hand did not suffer that many losses, just mostly damage, which can be healed up. Kuvang down in the end. Panzer IV on the way for Burmie. He's going to be pulling up the tanks, and Jove has it yet to take up. Rifleman there, holding up with a light machine gun. Though the house is slowly looking a bit disastrous. There you go, moves out through the wrong door. Almost suffering a, I think, catastrophic wipe there for Joe, but he does manage to get out of there, avoiding a premature death. Noting he has not upgraded the captain with the brown light machine gun, though he could decide to do so. Moving here, we got sandbags up from Joe, very nice. Actually, don't think he's been laying down mindful. Even using sandbags there from the rifle and defensive structures is a pretty good idea. You could also theoretically call in the priest, but right now that'd be a terrible timing for Joe to consider doing that. But maybe down the road. And there you go, Stuart straight to the kidnapper. And we got the Panzer IV here for Burmie and the 111th Panzer Brigade. Ready to strike fear into the hearts of the enemies of Germany. Close to betting to them, the Obersladen already. Racing sneaking into the house, but that should be able to easily flushed out there by the Volksgrenadiers. Rather than behind Karl being slowly shot to bits. There we go, Banhandgranate up. Pretty much turning the one on the end of the house into a barbecue pit. And far in the west, we can see Jove is creeping up a unit there. Note he's sticking very close there to the map to avoid most units that could be patrolling in the air to detect, and so he's heading straight for the fuel point there. So nice move there, nice move. Could disrupt some of Burmie's plans here if it distracts him enough. Burmie's Panzer IV is roaming about a bit aggressively here. And we got a retreat here. The Obersladen also retreating, I imagine. Might be the next accident, but it could also be simply he wants them to be held up, because right now the Obersladen squad is at half health, meaning individually they're all going to be dying pretty quickly, so it's better off, I think, in this case, just retreat and get them healed up. So I think that's the best decision there. Back at base, nothing further going on in Jove's base. It is silent for now. Stuart roaming about here aggressively, halfway to actually fleet. Rifleman moving out, and we got in the west, we got Rifleman hanging about there waiting. Maybe a misclick, but there's something else going on with Jove. Another hit, then the Stuart, we got the Panther falling over the Academy after that, and we could see the Stuart go down, low on health, main gun is out, anti-tank gun shoots, penetrates. Panther IV that goes for the kill, Joe's yet to take out, not entirely sure what Joe's thinking about it with this. But he is not taking out, which definitely feels like a weird choice. Meanwhile, Burmie's going for a howitzer. That's an interesting timing to go for a howitzer right now. I suppose the idea is that Joe has an awful lot of support right now, so I'd rather just go for some utility to just shatter it. Panther IV the close range one, we got the footage of the Obersladen here going for the rifle squad there. Getting down to 2 kill men, and oh, close there to getting up close, but they do manage to avoid death by Deutschland. Or at least white by Deutschland. Rather than holding up nice covering fire from inside the house, but that could easily be flushed out with a Brandhandgranate, except the units are dropping like flies due to the extensive firing there from the rifle inside the house, raking the Germans with devious amounts of lead. And there we go, machine gun setting up. They're not expecting the Americans to be hiding behind them, And good work there by Jove, though in this case he wasn't quite fast enough to do anything about the machine gun, so he just turns about, but still he's going to render the point neutral. Lastly, forcing Burmie and the drawaway force from the front line to deal with this, which is definitely a plus. For Jove, that is. For Burmie, it's pretty bad. But the howitzer's almost good here, and in fact, it is good to go. Opening up there with a ton of firing with a howitzer barrage. Firing straight into the base here, blind fire, pretty risky. Note that the scatter at this range is pretty high, so very good likelihood of just not hitting a lot there. He might get the ambulance, but he might as well not. And there you go, Jove has ticked up. He's going for the Sherman here, the M4A3. Burmie at this stage could consider another Orbsland squad. I mean, 2 Orbsland squads right now versus Jove could be quite a problem. He can lay down some serious firepower against the American infantry. Burmie not making an awful lot of progress anyway. That was definitely not a good engagement for him. Trying to engage him in heavy cover with more support just by sticking to light cover. But on the west, there we go. Nice pushback there. He still has to get the field point back. He still has to get it back. Back here healing reinforcement, orbital dart and closing in, admittedly very slowly, but they're also close to death. Now the question is, what is Burmie planning next, and might he not have benefited more from a second Panther IV rather than a howitzer right then and there? But ultimately it's going to come down to how well does he make use of the howitzer, and how quickly can he make good use of it. But so far the first barrage was a bit of a dud. Are you sure we were firing into the base? It kind of felt like we were just shooting into an empty field. Well, you know, we don't exactly have good coordinates. Once you sink. There you go, Sherman moving up, the Panther IV covering up. Direct penetrating hit there from the Sherman on the Panther IV. The Panther IV returns the favour with a sharp punch. Rather suppressed here in the centre of it. Go, also taking heavy damage. Orbital not fully reinforced, a bit risky there by Burmie. And there you go, Raffen. Ooh, out in the open, could get wiped here, could get wiped. High likelihood, and gets wiped, and the brown light machine is dropped. If the Orbital picked that up, that would be absolutely insane. Orbital with an LMG-34 and a Browning light machine gun. And they got, you know, that's in 2 meaning they're pretty much getting, you know, offensive bonuses as well, meaning they can lay down some serious firepower. And there we could see the Sherman go down to the Kevin, and there you go, popped apart. And that's a series of losses there for Joe that's going to be quite difficult to immediately come back from. Rifle squad gone, Sherman gone, but also importantly, Orbital Darden with 2 light machine guns. That's in basic terminology an utter nightmare for any American troops, any Allied troops in general. That's the sort of thing that keeps Winston Churchill awake at night. Orbital Darden with 2 light machine guns. When he made that speech and we'll fight on a beach and so on, they actually added a small caveat at the end. But if they give those Orbital Darden double light machine guns, I'm out. Anyways, fixing up the Panther IV. So we got veteranly 3 Orbital again with double light machine guns. This is either going to be glorious or it's going to be absolutely horrific. But there you go. Maybe they immediately just dropping one man in a matter of seconds, the Orbital and just go to town on them. Oh, apparently they can also fire light machine guns and move now, whatever. But usually they could only fire like their own light machine gun. Seems like something happened there. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, Major being shredded here again by the double light machine guns, utterly annihilated. No mercy, no survivors. Matilda found the mortar they're trying to silence. Got another Panther on the way. The Burmie got the streams moving up there. Straight into the immediately again, just one poor soul dropped. Bomb grenade off here. Goodbye to Lardner. Forcing that into the open, out into the front of the light machine. More casters piling up. Panther joining in as well here. And there you go. Full retreat from both sides. So I think Burmie didn't have to retreat that fast. Howitzer failed to hit any targets. Got the Panther moving ahead. Very close to 22 there. Needs to be careful and of course keep it properly supported. Second Panther was done. Victory points wise. Burmie has a non-leader with Jove. And back here healing enforcement with a 50 caliber on the way there. For Jove, he's actually gone for lieutenant. He's actually gone for every single structure. Interesting. Yeah, 29 kills, close to 74 ready with these Obersoldaten. So, Fritz, yeah, how's it firing an American Maschinengewehr? Oh, you know, it's kind of like fighting with a toy. It's kind of amusing that you're beating the enemy with a toy, but, you know, you kind of want the real deal. Pin up machine away there for the 2nd Panzerkampfwagen 4, workhorse of the German Panzerwaffe, and also the most produced German tank. Fun fact. It was also repeatedly tried to be stopped in production by Hitler himself for varying reasons. Usually stopped, in the end he did manage to hard cap production like 300 a month by the end of the war. Focus on the Orbison moving up the eastern side, Panther falling back, taking heavy hits there from bazookas and anti-tank guns. But there you go, Orbison threatening the captain with lethal amounts of lead. Panther forcing up, 200 points left here for Jove. Hard to find back again at the base. Though he's gotten 3 kills now, but I think he'd better off just trying to locate, you know, support weapons, just trying to destroy them, you know, rather than hitting into the base. It's not particularly efficient. Smoking off the machine gun there. Very good work there by Jove, using the mortar for that. Excellent work, excellent work. Nice to see Jove using some smoke tactically. Orbison for some reason retreated very rapidly there. I'm guessing that's the 5th caliber there. I did that now that I'm thinking about it. Down here we got the machine gun just defending. He doesn't want Jove harassing that anymore. That's for sure. Hitting the fuel point in the east. Still think Burmie could benefit from another Obersoldat squad. I think that would do him a ton of good. There you go to the front again. Sending this Panzer and it's Ernest definitely a bit of a weaker move here, but Burmie's going to lose it. He's going to lose it. Oh no, he didn't. He got lucky there. He got very lucky. Oh, never mind. Good use there by of take aim by Jove, increases the range and line of sight to connect to shoot further than most anti-tank guns there. Pop the Panzer IV, punishing Burmie there again for blandishing his anti-tank tank there. Definitely not something he should be doing. You only want infantry support. He just, you know, sending infantry support, not able to just deal with the anti-tank gun, but in the end he did not. Got the Orbison moving ahead here. And another Sherman for Jove. Also then getting the echelons, pushing problems to the house. Bazooka team power there to help deal with the Panzer. Of course, need to be careful around the Orbison since those get very easily end up ending the echelons' lives in a matter of seconds. More to this spotted, and there we go. Veteran for Orbison machine gun or mortar crews trying to get away. But it's just taking so much fire in a matter of seconds. They don't stand a chance. They do not stand a chance. 5th caliber turning about there and quick suppressing the Obersoldaten. He could pop a blind curve and then you could carry hit, but he just immediately retreats. So while Joe believes in the power of smoke, Burmie there is clearly not a believer. Showing out the machine gun there, but there you go. Nice flanking anti-tank gun. Another hit there. And pops, take aim, and armor piercing rounds to try and get to the 5th caliber down. He could actually try and rush here the anti-tank with the full squad. That'd be a pretty good move there for Burmie. But in the end, it's a bit slow there. Orbison going to go again. I really think he should go for another squad at the very least. With all these rifle Brownings. He's also adding BARs on them. So they get 2 light machine guns that way. Of course, the BAR is less impressive than the Brownie light machine. But there you go. Almost get the Lieutenant. Almost getting Lieutenant. There goes Sharon flanking up behind. Going for the kill. Very good, very good. Getting the victory point there. Orbison advancing. Very close to Veteran 5. Sherman setting out here for Jove. And there you go, straight into the Orbital down, close to 25. Rifleman cruising about, Sherman setting out. Straight engagement. Close quarters of the cannon. At the same time, all the American shooting at. It's going to go down in a matter of seconds. There you go. Wiped. Less well done there by Burmie. Less well done. Need to be careful over the Panzer. Well, they're going to tank gun immediately opening up there. Popping armor piercing rounds. He really wants it dead and wants to make sure it dies as fast as possible. There you go. Damage. So you need to pull back the Panzer 4 there. Another penetrating hit from the anti-tank. There you go. Big flanking force. Taking heavy hits from the rifle nearby though. And he lost the Panzer 4 again. Underestimating the sheer rate of fire that the veteran free anti-tank gun has. Like, the American anti-tank gun already shoots faster than most others, and then the veterans only begins shooting faster. You can very quickly take out a medium tank if you're not careful, and it did. But at least he wiped it. But right now, Burmie's taking some heavy losses. He's also beginning to run out in infantry, which is definitely a problem here since Jove has a massive infantry force. 3 riflemen, the captain, and the lieutenant. Has a ton of infantry. Plus, he lost all of his tanks. So right now, Burmie is in a slightly uncomfortable position, in particular since Jove just stole one of his Raketenwerfers. But there you go, almost Veteran 5, almost Hero Obersoldaten. Moving across the open fields, but there you go, 50 caliber. Landing in some good hits, but still has to retreat simply just due to the overwhelming firepower that Joe lays down in that sector. Also, Burmie might want to just consider going for a Panther just to help deal with the armor gaining and superiority, then going for more Obersoldaten to help deal with the infantry. Plus, that way he'll be less vulnerable to the M1 or any other anti-tank weapons. Trying to get the anti-tank, and there he seems to forget about Joe's massive lump of infantry, plus the 50 cal, which will be easily able to take out the folks that they try to get with the anti-tank gun. Some gigabit, he can go for the Panther 4 now. Though, again, a part of me would rather prefer the Panther to gain armor superiority, but then again, he might just have to go for deal with infantry. Got the Obersoldaten blitzing forts again. Bun grenade could be quite helpful here for Burmie if he can survive long enough to pop it. Since he's taking a lot of firepower. There you go, Geballte Ladung, Jove the moves. Getting a single kill, maybe 2. Not the best bun grenade there. Then again, pretty close, difficult to get close enough to get any serious damage in there with Jove's horde. Howitzer he seems to have forgotten about, which is definitely not good either. He wants to use that howitzer as often as possible. He really should be trying to target any of these support weapons that Jove has on the field. But it does seem like he's... Oh, there we go. Seems like he remembered he has a howitzer. Seems like he's suddenly remembered. Mein Gott, if only we had artillery, but we have artillery here, Hauptmann. Oh, so use it! Fire everything! There we go, Lieutenant carrying assault machine gun there. Very good move, very good move. Jove definitely making some good use of the smoke there again compared to the... he lost the machine gun, then lost his second machine gun to Jove. That is rather bad news from him. There you go, flanking the 50 cal with the Obersoldaten. Could get a wipe, could get a wipe. And there we go, annihilating the bastards. 42 kills on those Obersoldaten. 42, the meaning of life. Getting a pair of Obersoldaten with double light machine guns, clearly. And we can see the machine gun there, but he's actually getting murdered faster than can set up by the Obersoldaten. But there you go, Sherman to the rescue. Panzer 4 on the way again, so no Panthers or Jagdpanzer or anything to help deal with the Sherman force specifically. Captain repulsed with dying casualties as the lieutenant flanks up behind. Fuel point rendered neutral. We got here 1 Singer to the ready. Then we got Joe with more tanks, more Shermans. 5 kills in the house. He's really not been doing, I think, an amazing job with it there, to be honest, Burmie. Obersoldaten good to go once more, 44 kills. And there you go, grenade on like Kedmer for nice work there by Joe. Punishing Burmie, I think they're being a bit too reckless with Raketenwerfers. Which is definitely, I think, a lot of Obersoldaten West players are with Raketenwerfers. They tend to be very reckless. Panzerfaust and the Sherman, second Panzer on the way there. And there you go, Raffen versus Panzer 4 and double Obersoldaten. Oh, he just lost another unit there. Burmie's taking rather heavy losses there against Jove. He needs to be careful there. He goes going for the Sherman. Obersoldaten support there, clearing out the Kedmerfer. But the Panzer 4 takes some pretty heavy hits before that happens. And we got the anti-tank there as well. We need to clear out. We got the rear slings as well, which are a problem. And almost lost the Panzer 4 there. And we got a Silly Fire there just being laying down on the base. And he's still not hitting anything because Jove's by now moving everything to the edge of the base there. Burmie really needs to start aiming more properly with it. He needs to sort of try to shoot at targets he knows where are, rather than just blind firing. I mean, it's really just the least effective use of artillery overall. I mean, there's nothing wrong with not expecting artillery to hit in some ways, but then again, using them to block off terrain. He's not really doing that here. Definitely feels like just a waste of the artillery, in particular as an opponent's got more forces than you. Burmie then going for more Volksgrenadiers, not more Obersoldaten. 50 kills by the way. Not very often you get to see Obersoldaten with that kill count. Like Kedmith on the way there. He needs more entertainment to bring up more armor since he just tossed away another Panzer IV. Burmie definitely think needs to look into not playing as Panzer IVs like they're Panzer Vs. Orbison is suppressed again. Needs to be a bit more mindful of where the enemy's machine guns are. There you go, mechanized running down. Looks like Burmie might have been playing there for the King Tiger, but I think resource wise going too far. We got Sung Artillery going down here on the machine gun and the captain in the centre, and these troops aren't getting stopped here by the mass amount of infantry. Mechanized raping down like Kedmith setting out. Panzer IV there. Oh, actually getting repairs now. I didn't actually lose. Never mind, I'm being silly here. Oh, machine gun always being taken up the thing, so there's so much going on here. Captain wiped out by the Sung Artillery on retreat, dropping a weapon there. Landing off the closest, the machine gun reactions falling back. His Germans pulling back after the mechanized raping got taken out. And there you go, machine gun down to the artillery fire. Reactions retreating right through. Will they get wiped as well? And oh, lost one man, and the other one gets away. Close one though. Close one though. Still getting 2 watts with the Sung Artillery isn't exactly bad there for Burmie. Plus destroyed the machine gun, ensuring Jove does not get that one back. Jove just committing to more Shermans. Burmie's going to really need either Yak Panzer or Panther to deal with this, I feel. Victory points wise, it's actually Jove now's got the lead with 178 versus Burmie's 117. Things have changed up there. We got the Orbs on racing forwards, trying to hit the 50 card and then flanking it. But there we go, another machine gun covering a defensive depth here by Jove. Excellent tactical play there, excellent tactical play. In this case, it could have been accidental, but still having machine guns coming out of the machine guns is pretty good. It makes for a more well-layered defense, which is much harder to crack for your opponent, even with a simple flank. So nice work there, I would say, by Jove. Third Sherman almost done. Panzer going for 5 from the west, gaining veterans who won for Deutschland. But Burmie right now has barely any infantry. He's lost so much infantry, he hasn't been replacing it properly. And again, I really do think you should have pushed for some mobs land when you actually have the resources to spare for it more easily. Plus, you know, throwing some of his Panzer ways less often. Still, Burmie's hardly out of the fight yet. He's just making it kind of difficult for himself. Counter hammering away there again. 11 kills acting to get some kills there. It's beginning to get some. Better, better. We'll have to see if we can get any more. Maybe. Doesn't look like it though. Clearing up the machine orbs on the heavy fire. Second Panzer almost done there for Burmie. Almost, and there you go. Jove's tanks are full repair, ready to stomp some Krauts, some Nazis. Sturmpunion advancing. There you go. Sherman loses the main gun to the Kedden Alpha. Can he finish it off though? Looks like not. And the Orbs are almost close to death. They need to retreat. But they're constantly being suppressed, which really limits what they can do for Burmie and the German army. Big push here. Infantry, Sherman's pushing forwards. Burmie's going to need to set up things here correctly to have a chance. The Sturm party to fall back to Kedmare for their second Panzer almost done. Grenades off, and there goes Panzer Force joining in. Panzer Force gaining Betchini 2. Second Panzer Force joining in, almost got one of the Shermans, almost got it. Ah, none of the Panzer Force hit. There you go, trying to focus on the Kedmare, instead now leaving the Panzer Force open to push forwards. Rather moving up, the Kedmare are wiped. And none of the tanks take any sort of finishing damage there. And they got more artillery fire this time to break up the attack. Not bad. This definitely makes it harder there for Jove just push straight ahead, so at least this feels more purposeful than just blindly firing into the base. And there you go, wiped another machine gun crew. Burmie though is still incredibly low in infantry. One Storm Pioneer squad, one Volksgun squad, one Orbital Dart squad. I mean, he loses anything right now, he's in deep sauerkraut. Almost getting the Sherman, they're also close to losing his Panzer IV, his veteran Panzer IV that. And he loses it to a flanking resistance squad. They're nice work by Jove. Big loss for Burmie again, like his forces are just being stretched very thinly here. Also on the demon of the re-echelon, they need to be careful. The re-echelon, so this is not the Orbital Dardan. 57 kills, 58. Panzer IV, they're taking heavy hits. Almost losing another one here. There we go, almost got the re-echelons in return. Could see what, grenade off from the Orbital Dardan. Almost gets them, 59 kills and forced to retreat. So low on health though. More Volksguns here for Burmie, just not more Orbital Dardan. Panzer IV in, oh, bad, needing repairs. Trying, I think, to block the victory point against the harassment there from Jove. So again, he's basically using it for spare fire, blocking fire, which just means, again, you prevent your opponent from moving through the area, because if they try to move through it, they're very likely going to suffer. So that's a nice move here by Burmie. Nice move. But Jove's very much in control of the rest of the map here, and part of the issue is simply Burmie just has enough infantry to affect it, plus not enough armor, whereas Jove has several tanks. Burmie could at this stage maybe consider a pack 43, but then again Jove's got infantry, so theoretically just go for a priest if it comes down to it and just counter it that way. You know, the victory point, and there you go. Orbital once more close there, but once more getting suppressed. I mean, they can't really do much against a 50 caliber, particularly not when it's in light cover. So bad news there for Burmie once more. 99 points left here versus Jove's 172. The situation for the 111th Panzer Brigade is looking pretty rough here with the 2nd Armoured. More sandbags from Jove as he prepares himself to just dig in. Make it harder for Burmie to make any kind of breakthrough attempt. Very good work. Not hits on the Sherman though. Jove might be getting a bit overconfident with his tanks, and there you go. Almost getting another wipe here. But he gets another cannon effort. Until they find the centre again. Direct hit on the Sherman doesn't do a ton of damage. Still getting some hits in there nonetheless. Until they fire, bazooka fire, Panzer IV fire. Orbital dealing with Lieutenant in the south, 60 kills. Going in here blind with his Panzer IV by now. Rushing in, need to be careful, Blitz! Blitz! Ah, he didn't blitz. At least go that way. Maybe moved faster than the turret station and the tanks. Instead he just kept moving at a pace where they could easily hit the Panzer IV. That could have been executed, I think, much more neatly there by Burmie. Pushing back the Shermans, but he's just not getting any kills, and he really needs kills right now. We can see that, I think, but Joe's calling in the artillery strike here on the centre victory point. Yes, indeed. Orbital dealing with the rifle, 63 kills. Sherman rolling ahead here, 49 points left. He's just trying to keep things up to bleed out Burmie. Main gun out though. Oh, looks like he's baiting him into retreating and then destroying him on the retreat. Cheeky Jove, but in this case didn't quite work out for him. 64 kills. Need to retreat though. They are so low on health, so low on numbers. Still, they are doing a ton of killing here for Burmie. Pushing it aggressively for as many points as he can get his grubby little hands on. Hard to rectify again. I'm guessing it's going to be another strike to the enemy base. There we go. I was wondering when the shots were getting flying, and there you go. First shot goes far off the mark. Second one hits the machine gun emplacement. I think he's trying to catch the cruisers repairing the Shermans. But again, the sheer range and the fact he doesn't have direct line of sight makes the shots highly inaccurate, so he's not very likely to get a hit there anyways. Still need to retreat those orbitals alone, they're way too low on health and numbers. And in the far south, we got rifles sticking up there. Going to try and clear out Burmie's howitzer. Nice work there by Jove. Very nice work. Really good play. Clearly Jove's worked off most of the rust since he began playing again a month ago. Where there are definitely a lot more mistakes in Jove's play, but he's definitely, I think, getting there. Counter-attack here. Orbison being rushed in. The pressure on Burmie is immense, forcing him to just constantly dispatch them like a fire brigade on a miniature scale. So they just plug up whatever gap Burmie's got, you know, problems with. 66 kills. 67. They just keep killing. Burmie can't go for another Panther again with 3 Shermans out there. I mean, despite it's going to take him more time, more resources, a Panther might just be a bit more useful. Priest out here for Jove. He's had enough. He's going to bomb those Crouch into the Stone Age. Or at least the Bronze Age. Now it's flanking with the Orbs on the machine gun. Finally, he doesn't run his Orbs straight into the machine gun. He actually managed to flank it. A big event here for Burmie. Bun grenade off as well. He really wanted that machine gun. It certainly wasn't able to get it done. We got the priest firing. I imagine he wants to. Oh, he's firing out the Schwer punted quarters. I figure he try and silence the enemy howitzer. There you go, Shermans. When we got S-Mines firing down here, when Burmie begins to use more of the doctrine rather than just using it for the howitzer. Good. Troops are just being the demise. Since he can't deal with rifle at this rate, he's going to stay in there to cover. There's a unit in heavy cover. This is just suicidal by Burmie every single time. Almost got the Sherman here on the camera. We got more Shermans being up on the far western side. Might try and go over the Schwer punted quarters. Panther 4 almost down, so he keeps pushing out the Panther 4s. Oh no, the Orbison dropped a light machine gun. They dropped a light machine gun. Kevin are being swarmed and overwhelmed. Cleared out in a matter of seconds. A devastating blow there to Burmie. He's just lost most of his anti-tank assets. It goes to the opponent who still has 3 tanks. And he's rushing in the Orbison. And just down to 1 light machine gun. At least I think they dropped the Browning. Yeah. Panther pulling hit. You forget there's still enemy anti-tank weapons about, I imagine. Sherman there, moving ahead. We got the force going for the Kedem efforts. Panther 4 being pushed too far ahead. Pushed too far ahead. Lots of damage here. Panther 4 off. The Kedem turns back. There goes Sherman down. Direct hit by an artillery shell. Knocks it out. Small victory there for Burmie. A sea of disasters. He's down to 15 versus Joe's 156. Orbison at 69 kills. Panther 4 about to get knocked out. He's supposed to reach the Bazooka team, having a bad move. Granada being used to cover up the retreat, and there go damaging in the Panther 4. Somehow, Burmie perseveres. He could booby trap the point. Got a Jackson on the way there for Jove to help deal with the Panther 4. He still has the majority of his Shermans. There's the moving ahead. Oh, Orbs are moving ahead there. No grenades or anything like that to make the job easier. No smoke screens. Less effective there by Burmie. Of course, he might be trying to fix them for the artillery. And there we go. Shots fired. There we go. Virtually free howitzer. Panther 4. Halfway to Veteran 2, but would it be enough? Well, no, seeing the East troops being shredded here by the Dove Riflemen with a lot of brown light machine. In fact, that's going to be a full wipe. Quite a critical loss here for Burmie. Getting down to just 3 infantry units. Sherman getting a bit closer to the Sturmpunie, like gaining them Veteran 5. As they fire their puny American bazooka at the Sherman. Sherman flanking the Panther 4 here, gets a good hit but still risks more bazooka fire from the Sturmpunie. He's not, I think that's a massive threat to the Sherman. But it might just make it a bit easier for the Panther 4 to deal with it. And almost got it. There you go, Jackson to the scene. Lancer hit that, killing, I think. Oh, it looked like he killed a Steel Pioneer too, but didn't do anything at all. Also, back in action there with 71 kills. Brown Light Machine Gun nearby is still forgotten, abandoned now. And there you go, suppressed by a machine gun once more. Burmie is just struggling to make any headway against all of Jove's machine guns, most of which have been taken from Burmie. Good hit there on the Sherman. All of a sudden they're almost wiped out by the Sherman though. Almost wiped out. Gets it though in return. But Burmie is still holding on barely. $14 kills on that Howitzer. Not really making a lot of progress again. Get versus fire is simply put straight up blind fire to the base. Wishful thinking, if you will, with a 105mm howitzer. All of a sudden, once more on the move for the Deutschland, and there you go. Fultzgun is now with the Brown Light Machine Gun. This is just handing it to his most capable man, which would have been the Obersoldaten, hands down. Ooh, bazooka dropped, and sent up the Panther 4, which is close to it to the free actually. But if it was about like this, he very much risks dying before it gets there. 75 kills, Panther 4 blitzing ahead. Too low on health, I think, to make any sort of real difference here, and he gets stuck on the Jackson, means the Panther 4 is going to go down. And the tank gun down. He's really just pushing hard. He did lose the Panther 4 here, which leaves him now vulnerable to the infantry at the armour. But more vulnerable than he already is. Seems like a last hurrah here from Burmie more than anything else. 76 kills on those Obersoldaten. 76. He's likely to rush them straight to machine getting suppressed again. And there you go, GG, game over. Burmie spirit is out, 0 victory points left. A brutal battle here with, well, over 500 kills. 257 there versus 238. It seems like the Obersoldaten did roughly, well, statistically that's about close to 1/3 of all the killing. Somewhere between a third and a fourth. Basically just was done by the Obersoldaten. That's a lot of firepower there thanks to those double light machine guns. In the end, I think the issue with Burmie was just in many cases he got really overconfident, began playing his Panther 4s really sloppily, which then quickly resulted in losing it, a lack of mines. I also think he should have gone from Obersoldaten when he had the chance here versus Jove. Jove, on the other hand, was definitely a lot more meshed, a lot more calm, make good use of smoke and other tactical elements, was also good at putting pressure on the field and for outmaneuvering Burmie. More importantly, he just stayed cool, whereas Burmie again at several times got overexcited, just pushed too far ahead. Jove was just again calm, rational, and in many cases was able to punish Burmie quite handily whenever he made a mistake. So I think a brutal and exciting match right here on Langraskaya. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Listen, Pro LinkedIn, cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Bye.